I want to say kushe to me salon brother and sister them. It's not a brother. Clarence aka Freestyle from Feferi to Radio. I want to say congratulations to His Excellency. Congratulations to the people of Sierra Leone for voting out. And congratulations to also to all the observers in the country. I mean, now we can say the election are over and the results are out mostly, especially the presidential result. In life, we all can get so much anticipation, anxiety, especially when we're back on something, in order to have a positive outcome. Most cases it can happen like that, but not in all cases. So therefore, they want them appeal to the APC and other party them for dust themselves up and pick themselves up again, and invest more time, invest more clarity, invest into the democracy within the party, and invest into the sincerity of their agenda for develop the country where they take a seat for. But I want to point out on one important area, in my view, that Sierra Leone and Sierra Leoneans need to improve individually as well as collectively. And that area is an area of culture and tradition. I mean, for a very long time, we see the dominance of the Christianity and Islam into Africa. They've been there for such a long time. But as well as there were indigenous tradition and culture that exist before that. And I'm over 50 and I've lived in the United Kingdom for nearly almost 30 years or so. I've engaged in other countries like South Africa, Nigeria, Togo, Guinea-Bissau, Gambia, Senegal, Mali, in Haiti and the Caribbean. And one thing I've noticed is that all of them countries that I mentioned, in the diaspora, they hold on to their tradition and cultural effects. Now, when you look into Sierra Leone, especially when we see now there is a lot more awareness into politics, and that's been the case in my view in Sierra Leone for a long time. Politics don't take over culture and tradition, and at the same time we don't see the people them don't forsake their tradition and culture for politics, and that is very damning for the country image as being an African country, especially West African. And also we don't see, because of the lack of culture and tradition in the minds of the people and also in the way they carry themselves, and especially in the diaspora, how they need to sell their culture and tradition, we don't see how misinformation within politics don't take over the people, right? And this is very, very sad. This is very sad because Sierra Leone has a great cultural and traditional systems that have been there for such a long time. We don't see also in politics where, as I said, a lot of people with cultural and traditional background don't come into. But we see when it comes to politics, even though they can put God before or Allah before, but we also see how the culture and the tradition elements are sometimes people going there to seek some strength, to seek devotion and seek interpretation. So what I'm implying here is that we as Sierra Leone people, especially the Limba, the Timini, the Soso, the Loko, the Gizi, the Mende, and all the tribes in Sierra Leone, I will call upon the government and Ministry of Culture to look into this and see how best the cultures within those traditions can work best for the country. Because I believe, because we don't take focus away from we tradition and we culture, hence we are seeking approval from the outside. And as I said, being here in London, I've engaged in a lot of cultural activities. And when you come on Salon, we see Salon, they gather for outing, we don't see Fula, we don't see Kono, we don't see other tribes. But one thing I don't see is how much Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora are so passionate and proud of their culture and tradition and languages. And this is very detrimental, because when you look into Nigeria, in London, Ghana, in London, the influences of the tradition, culture, not just their language, but also their attire and the way they dress, is prevalent. But we're not able to see we own tradition and culture in the West become more prevalent. Hence, they know Salon people them outside of Salon for war and for political misconduct and manipulation and corruption. Because we all don't focus on one thing, which is a foreign thing, politics. But we forget about our tradition and culture, how to promote and promote and elevate. We culture them, we don't forget. And this is why we see young people today had no ambition, because the cultural skill is something that is ever developing. So I will call upon the ministers in government and those that are in position to reach out to people who have ambition to promote the cultural aspect of Sierra Leone, to pass on that message to the people who are responsible to promote their culture and encourage them. Because we're missing out. We are really missing out. When it comes on fashion, when you camp on culture again, I'll camp on fashion. But when you ask Sierra Leonean, what is our national culture? What is our national attire? Right? We don't know. And I'll give you an example. I've got most of we attires them. Okay? So one time I had my ronco and I wore it. I was going to an event. And mind you, I've worn this ronco in other cultural events. And people love it outside of Sierra Leone. They want to know more about where this is from, and because they love the texture and everything. Now, I've worn this ronco in Sierra Leone activity where my own company fellow Sierra Leonean, we maybe then come up from the north, and maybe then join society, now see me as somebody who they can test or a threat. They don't embrace me as one of their own who is trying to promote the culture, but then trying to see me as somebody who is trying to maybe oppose the culture. And this I find very, very bizarre. So I want to encourage we brothers and sisters then, especially from those of those of una we come upline, to take up on our culture and tradition. Una left politics to people them way understand it. Una take up on our culture. We have Poro, we have Wende, we have Bangbani, we have all those great traditions. I think they know more about medicines. They know more about herbs. How can we utilize those traditions to create and to enhance a positive effect and image in the country? This, for me, I go want to see within the country and also those of us in the diaspora, how we can use with traditions and what we get for promote a national image and for make it benefit the country them. Look like Togo, people like places like Benin, they go there every year. They have their tradition, which they expose to the world and very proud of it. Whilst we, the damn we own and elevate foreign culture, which is politics. So now that the elections are over, make we wipe we eye, dust we feet, and we pants them. Especially when it comes to the cultural development and promotion of Sierra Leone. We want to see that. We want to see the Koanko na England put on an event to promote their culture. We want to see the Timini put on an event in Europe to promote their culture. We want to see the Limba, the Soso, the TM, the Loko, the Mende, the Gizi. We want for Siuna put up an event, not just dancing and going outing. We want for see that. Some of we want for jump on board. But because we know they're in the position for do that, but all we can do is try for promote we culture. We want for see that. We want for see cultural events in Europe where they promote we individual tribal nations rather than concentrate on politics, which is continuously creating a tribal divide. So I will put this to everybody in a Sierra Leonean, that this is the time we need for take control of we culture and tradition and make it known to the world. Make we begin speak a different language. We're going to make the world look at Sierra Leone with a very different eye. Not all this misinformation propaganda we would take, because what we don't understand who's how we don't come out, it's very difficult for understand who's how they go. So therefore we take images and an effect that other countries don't represent with. Some of you will be proud of that. For sure, we all come in Sierra Leone and say, look what they say about we. Whilst your own tradition and culture and your language, they die out in Europe. So I will encourage my brother and my sister them and the government of Sierra Leone. Let's focus on elevating, promoting, discussing, creating the cultural effect that the Holy Creator don't bless you with. Thank you very much. My name is Clarence, aka Freestyle from Feferity Radio. I hope this message go down well with you now. Thank you.